Coming up on February 23rd for Black History Month, Suitcase and Point welcomes Be Current. That is an organization out of Toronto, and they are presenting Freedom, a mixtape. And Marcel Stewart and Kira Allen join us. And Marcel, I understand this was something that was workshopped originally about 4 years ago with Suitcase and Point.
Yeah, that's right. It started as an idea that me and the team were kind of tossing around in our studio office there. Originally, we wanted it to be something that was historical. We thought about recreating, like some historical moments in time that are central to St. Catharines, starting off at Harriet Tubman's Church and ending off at City Hall for like the Emancipation Day flag raising. And so we applied for funding, we got funding, and we're like, okay, great, like let's move forward with that. And then, we started seeing Black bodies being murdered everywhere. And I say started, we've been seeing it for a long time, but like it became quite overwhelming for me. And then juxtapose that with the pandemic and shutting everything down, and needing to pivot and not quite sure how or what to pivot into. And then we actually marched as a community. There was a protest going on in Niagara Falls. I forget when exactly, but like the whole crew, we went over there and spoke a lot about the various age ranges of people, the different intersections of folks that were there, and how it felt like a community, in spite of the fact that we were all wearing masks and still kind of weren't sure of what is it like to be out again because we've been inside for so long. And I think that was a catalyst. We came back and was like, maybe we should reach out to the community and find out how they're relating or dealing or grappling with this idea of freedom. When, Emancipation Day is coming down the pipeline, and yet, like, it feels like so many of our rights are not ours. So, like, how are people managing that? So, we reached out to the community with a provocation. What does freedom mean to you today? And, said to folks, you can submit poems, songs, testimonials, like whatever you like. And we got a wide array of submissions that, I think for us as an organization really spoke to the breadth of artistry in the community, regardless of, capitalism or like what do people sell, but like the art making was just so good, Mike. It was so, so good. So I felt really proud at that moment to be able to platform, and give voice or space for those artists to show their artistry.
Kira, talking about the organization, you're the executive director of Be Current. This is an organization that has been supporting new voices, primarily Black female voices, for many years out of Toronto.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we were founded by Audrey Zena Mendiela, who's a fantastic dub poet, director, playwright, and she just wanted to create that space. There wasn't anything like that in Toronto at that time, and she just is a trailblazer. And she came up with this idea, worked together with the community, and Be Current has just grown and thrived since those days.
You're also taking Black history into area high schools in Toronto and hoping to expand outside of Toronto as well. Can you explain that project?
Yeah, Reclaiming Black Canadian History is a really special project. It works with youth, mainly about 14 to 18 in age range. And we take that to schools, and it's an exploration of Black Canadian history from a different lens. They learn storytelling techniques. They get to explore the people who they want to explore, that sometimes the lesser known folks who don't come up in, Canadian textbooks and in school. So it's sort of they get to take ownership of that exploration and engage with it directly. And yeah, so it's a great learning experience, and I guess an intro to sort of a different lens on experiencing history.
Marcel, back in 2020, Freedom, a mixtape, was largely just an audio project, but it's really evolved, I should say, to be much more, to be a full theater performance. What will people see on February 23rd?
Yeah, so we spent a good 2 weeks rehearsing or workshopping some ideas, and I think there's a lot more potential of where the show could go, in terms of like spectacle elements that we include. But for this version, I really wanted to focus on the words, the text, the ideas, and the thoughts of like so many different people in the community. So what people can expect to see is six actors sitting down behind music stands with their scripts in front of them. And when each actor is about to speak, they'll stand up and they'll start speaking as they will. We have a DJ on set, or on stage, I should say, who's behind them, and he plays quite an effective 20-minute set to start the show, and then kind of pops in and out throughout the course of the show as well. There's poetry, feels like, Def Poetry Jam homage. There's some rapping, there's some speakeasy kind of piano accompanied singing, there's harmonies. It's very honest. Lots of response that we've been receiving. People talk about truth, and it's just that it's a lot of truth and honesty from people in the community. I think there's the chance to laugh. There's also the chance to contemplate, and to be in community too.
I understand this started in Nagra, and there's still some Nagra content in Freedom, a Mixtape.
Oh yeah, there's tons of Niagara content in it. One of the pieces is called Emancipation, and it's by an artist named Howie, and Howie still lives out in Niagara on the Lake. And every other voice is from someone that lives either in St. Catharines or the greater Niagara region. So that was also really cool to be at the National Arts Center in Ottawa on Thursday and to hear these thoughts and voices from people in St. Catharines reverberating through an Ottawa audience. Yeah, goosebumps. It was pretty cool.
Marcel, Kira, sounds like a wonderful evening. How can people get tickets for February 23rd, 7 p.m.?
Just go to freedomamixtape.com and all the ticket details will be right there.
Thanks to both of you for joining us today.